What's up, guys? Wasn't gonna do a video about this, but after seeing all the videos made by a lot of other people on this subject, I figured I'd throw my 2 cents out there. Hopefully this won't be too long of a video, as I don't really plan on getting that in depth on it. As you can tell by the title, which may have drawn you into this video, Rampage put on a blog post on his official website that he's done fighting. Honestly, there is a lot of people making a lot of videos with knee-jerk reactions to him saying this thing, and to be honest with you, it didn't really shock me all that much. The first thing I took away from it was just the other things he said in the post besides that he's done fighting. Fighters retire all the time. Boxers, MMA guys, Randy Couture, how many times has that dude said, I'm done fighting, I'm done fighting? The thing about fighting, and it seems to happen with wrestlers, pro wrestlers a lot too, is, you get to a point where you're just, the work that goes into being an MMA fighter, training camp, and all the injuries and the mental, how much mental stability and mental focus it takes, it just kind of drains you after a while. Especially with a guy like Rampage, who his fighting style is what it is, like the brawler, punching, serious, like, come at you kind of guy. That's, aggressive guy. That's the kind of fighter he was, or is, still a fighter. It just has to take a toll on your body, which is one of the points that he made, all the injuries. And, after taking some time off, they realize how much of an adrenaline, release that they have, and how pumped up they get, and how exciting it is to fight. And it's just, they miss it. And, it could happen, in 3 months, it could happen in a year and a half, but eventually, I gotta believe that Rampage is a fighter. He's been a fighter his entire life. Even when he was wrestling in high school, he wanted to be a fighter. He'll miss it eventually, and he'll come back. I have no doubt in my mind that Rampage will fight again. And to be honest, I was probably about 99.9% sure he'll fight in the UFC when he comes back. Even though, one of the major points I wanted to address in this video is what he's been saying about, what he said about Dana White. He kind of sugarcoated it at the end, where he said, I respect the UFC and Dana White, whatever. But in the context of the blog post, he made a couple points about, Dana White not respecting him, and about the whole time he's this UFC man, and he's a company man, and he'll do whatever they say. And Dana White kind of tried to screw him a couple times. Well, that doesn't really surprise me either. Both Rampage saying that, or that it could actually be true, because Rampage is obviously going to try and paint the picture pretty colors from his point of view, and not try to, shed any negative light on what he may or may not have done. That could be the case, or could be the case that Dana White is an asshole and tries to, do things his way. That's the way Dana White is. He's a promoter. Promoters are always going to be assholes. That's what if you look up promoter, fighting promoter or boxing promoter in the dictionary, one of the definitions should be asshole, because that's what they are. That's what they do. They try to make money. So I can see how Dana White tried to do that. He said, he tried to make Rampage it made Rampage look bad, because Rampage he agreed to do the Ultimate Fighter 10 with Rashad, knowing that Dana White said, well, if you do it, I'll give you a shot at the title. And that's why, instead of taking a title shot against Machida, he just went in the season with Rashad. And then when filming started, Dana, flipped the script on him and said, no, now you're fighting Rashad. I can see how that would happen. I could see it from both ways. The other one was, taking the fight with Keith Jardine, even though he had to have jaw surgery, and, fighters are going to fight, and, he's the one that took the fight. He didn't have to do it, so, whatever. He's one of those guys, like he said, he put it pretty well that, with the way he fights, and, he's not going to be a Randy Couture, fighting till he's 48. He's going to be one of these guys. I mean, he's trying to make as much money as he can. He wants acting to be his second career. I think he'll do a movie, get how it is. We'll see how the movie does. I think it's going to be good. I don't know. We'll see what happens. He's 31 right now. He's got, lots of time to fight, lots of time to make movies if he wants to. Whatever he wants to do right now. If I were to have it my way, I wouldn't have a fighter in his prime, quit while he's in his prime and, go off and do movies. But, hey, I can't be upset with him about it. I think a lot of these guys making videos, and I won't mention names, but to call Rampage names or, for going to make movies, I think you're way off base, and I think it's way out of line to do that. One thing I will say, and then I will mention EBW returns, EB Dubs. I can see where you're coming from. That he said he calls asshole fans or stupid fans or whatever. He's just trying to say all the haters. There's haters everywhere. I mean, he's talking basically to the entire Sherdog community. Is these guys that saying, well, he's ducking Machida and all that stuff. He's basically saying, well, I don't want to deal with you. And then he said to my true fans, he was separating them because there are those people, those haters that are always going to hate on you. And then there's the fans that follow you. And he's, hoping those fans follow him and, watch his fights and don't hate him for, quitting fighting. And so I can absolutely see how he would mention them in the same breath to draw a line on the fighters or on the different kinds of fans. So anyways, I've talked about it for way too long. I just want to give my opinion about what I thought of the entire thing, and I will end with Rampage will be back. That's a guarantee. MMA Professor guarantee. That's ironclad right there. You guys stay metal. Later.